By popular demand, I am joined by Bianca Porto Barga. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Well, and you've brought a friend,
Yes.
Paula. Paula is the director of group sales with the award-winning 5-star luxury resorts, One&Only.
Yes. How are you, Jason?
I am well.
Bianca?
So real quick, Paula, tell us a little bit about your hotels.
Well, our resorts are absolutely amazing. We want people to go there and enjoy these amazing settings and paradise beach areas or natural settings, and enjoy the luxurious rooms, the amazing dining. And it's not full, it's comfortable, and it's just an amazing experience that people definitely doesn't forget. So it's just very special, a very special experience when you go there. It's something different than any other resorts.
Where are they located?
We have resorts all over the place, but we have in Dubai, we have in Mexico, Mauritius, Maldives. We are actually opening one in Mexico that is going to be special, so can't wait for that. But we have several different resorts all over the world. We're going to open in several different locations. So I welcome everyone to enjoy these amazing resorts.
So you're everywhere. Okay, so let's talk about group business, because why are we going to talk about group business amid a pandemic?
Yes. Well, I know everyone is hurting in the industry right now because of the pandemic, and it's very tough for everyone. I do think we have a little bit of more advantage because our resorts are very private, and no wonder why a lot of celebrities love going there. If you want to be in the privacy of your room and enjoy the pool, you can do that, and you don't need to be around people. But our resorts are not the kind of resort that it's gonna be packed in the pool. You're gonna be private at the beach. You're gonna be private walking around. So it's in the luxury market, I think, is gonna be doing a little bit better than the other segment.
It's definitely one of the segments that was most affected by the pandemic. There are a lot of companies that have travel restrictions right now, but we know for a fact there are some companies that are still traveling. I think for 2020, definitely a stretch. I think the small groups are probably going to be easier to capture than larger groups, but people are looking into booking business for 2020, later in the year, and also for 2021. And one thing that we have to keep in mind is that a lot of meetings and a lot of groups were canceled and had to be postponed for the next date. So that's why I think there is definitely an opportunity for hotels to capture those pieces of business that had to reschedule. So again, we are not going to bring amazing news. There's not something that we know that you don't know that's happening. But what we want to remind people is that there is definitely some demand there. It's not going to be normal, but it's definitely there. And there are a couple of tips that we came up with for you to try to convert those group business if you happen to find them.
Well, first and foremost, flexibility is key. We discussed this, and we think that, the best thing to do right now is to work a very nice contract, work the attrition clauses, and the cancellation clauses are clauses that are requested by clients to be more flexible. And I think at this point, that's what we need to do if you want to bring groups to the resort, especially for this year.
Yeah, there's one thing too that Paulina mentioned to me, is that you're putting now a pandemic clause in the contracts, right, Paulina? I saw that was very interesting that the hotels are doing that. And I think that would make people feel a lot more secure about traveling, knowing that in case this happens again, and hopefully not, but in case this happens again, you have a way out of the contract. I think that's what you are mentioning, right, Paulina?
Well, we have our force majeure, and many times clients do ask in the force majeure for pandemics to be added. And of course, we had to go to our legal department and be very specific about that. But for the ones that really request that, we absolutely understand. And again, we need to be flexible. So we do add the pandemic as a force majeure kind of cause if they need to cancel by any reason if a pandemic is happening. So yes, correct.
So what else?
I actually booked a really major group for September of this year, and they decided to actually move. But for example, they were like, oh, but a lot of people still want to come. Can you do a courtesy block? And again, flexibility. We were like, well, you know, we are not packed in this year, and there is going to be something that is going to be good for the resort, good for the client, and we're going to make this specific client very happy if we do something like this. So we said yes. It's not something that we do it all the time, but in these circumstances, we didn't see why not we wouldn't do something like that. So that's another thing that we've been doing.
And one other point that we also came up with, and a lot of companies are doing it and are doing it successfully, is to create promotions and try to attract people coming to your hotel. Again, there are certain groups that will not risk it, but I think companies that are sales related or that can do regional meetings, it's a driving market, there is a chance for you to try to capture some of those groups with enticing rates. Of course, that doesn't work for the ultimate luxury hotels, but it does work for other types of hotels. I'm seeing this done a lot in Vegas now. I was recently there and I saw a couple of groups and even social groups getting together, and that's something that we know for a fact it was because of good rates. So they offer nice promotions, they offered some concessions in terms of pricing, and people took advantage of that and decided to
adding value. It's definitely something that you can do. In our case, rate is not really where we go, but we add value and we add amazing concessions and things that the client wouldn't get if the pandemic wasn't going on.
So what do the sales and marketing efforts look like right now?
Well, I think we are really making sure that we have these amazing protocols in place. So when we do campaigns, at least for me in sales, when I'm sending email blasts to my clients for my group promotions for the moment, I do mention that, you know, safety is our number one. You know, we want to make sure that everyone is safe. So we are actually not open at the moment. We're opening very soon because we want to make sure everyone is safe. But once open, the protocols will be in place. And I mean, since we have our brand power too, I think people, if they have to pick and select a place to go, I'm pretty sure that One&Only will be one of the places that people will really be feeling safer than other places.
And what I feel, and just tagging along with what Paula is saying, is that we, as the sales teams that are working right now, I think it's important to communicate in advance. So not expect your clients to reach out to you to understand what you're doing at your hotel, but really reach out to your clients and say, I understand you're not booking anything right now, but these are the protocols and the processes that we have in place to make sure that your guests are safe with us. So really taking that proactive approach and communicate with your clients and show them what you're doing to really make everybody feel secure while on property. So I think a lot of the effort that the teams are doing right now for the people that have the luck of still, you know, be working at a hotel is to really do the proactive approach and tell everybody what you're doing for whenever they're ready to travel to welcome them. Got
it. We got about a minute left. Any last thoughts?
Well, my thought is let's all support each other in this industry and continue booking. We're gonna do all the best we can to have everyone safe, and we just wanna, you know, make sure that our industry survives. And we're so happy to get all these people back at One&Only, and we are ready for it.
Yeah, and for me, really, if you have a piece of business that you might, you know, fall on your plate, try to convert it with everything that we gave you. And there are business definitely out there, not as many groups as we had before, but definitely there are some out there. So try to, you know, beat the competition and grab them.
Okay, thanks for joining me, ladies.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Jason.